Hey boys and girls, how are you today? I hope you're doing awesome. What I really hope for is that you have your imaginary cap on. Because right now, just like we talked about using our imagination, we are going to be using our imagination just like our friend Harold. Are you ready? We're going to read this book, but I want you to think, like, what are the awesome things you could do with just one crayon? One crayon, that's all you need. Let's find out what Harold did with one crayon. Harold and the Purple Crayon. This book is written by Crockett Johnson and it's illustrated by Crockett Johnson also. All right. Oh my goodness. Harold and the Purple Crayon. I hope you don't do this on your parents' walls. All right. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. So he's a little boy, your age, and he got up and he left and went for a walk in the moonlight. We don't do that, but your imagination can allow you to. So let's see what he does in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. Look, there wasn't a moon, so he drew a moon, and he's drawing a sidewalk. He made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. There he goes. I wonder where he's going to go. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. It wasn't there, but he feels it should be right there. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. Have you ever seen an apple tree in a forest? I never have. But your imagination can let you see whatever you want anywhere you're at. The apple would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. Oh, so he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was terribly frightening dragon. That way nobody would steal his apples. Ooh, he's got a good imagination. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Uh-oh. Look, his hand is shaking. What is it causing? Oh, no, I wonder what those are going to turn into. Oh, just what I thought. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. But by then, Harold was over in his head in the ocean. So his shaky hand, look, I'm just going to pull out one of my purple crayons out of my box. So his shaky hand, after he went for a walk, made a path, okay, then he decided he was going to build a forest. So he drew a tree. See what you could do with a fancy crayon, made some apples. Then after he made some apples, he made this big old scary dragon to protect his tree. But Harold was scared, so when he backed up, he started to make waves and he fell in the ocean. Uh-oh. He came up thinking fast, and in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. So right then and there, he said, "Ooh, I need to draw me a boat." He's got a good imagination. So now that he has a boat, he can climb in it so he won't drown. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. Ooh, let's see how we can draw a sail. All you need is a straight line, like that, and you can make a sail like half of a triangle. Very good. And the moon sailed with him. After he had sailed along enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. Oh, no. Now he doesn't even know where he's at. The sandy beach reminded Harold of a picnic, and he thought of a picnic made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. So right there, look, he's drawing the blanket. He's drawing his bowl. I wonder what he's going to put in it. There was nothing but pie. He's having a pie picnic. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked the best. So he has 9 different pies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I wonder what kind of pie he has. Maybe he has your favorite pie in there. What pie do you like? I like pumpkin pie. I like pecan pie. I like peach pie. I like all kinds of pies. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left over. He doesn't want to waste it. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. What do you think he's going to draw right there? So Harold left a very hungry moose and a very deserving porcupine to finish it up. He drew a moose and a porcupine. They're going to eat the rest of the pies. And off he went looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Because remember, he doesn't remember where he's at. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see from the top of the hill. So he decided to make a hill into a mountain. So right there, he went on his path, then decided to make this really high so that when he gets up here, he can see all the way across so he can remember where he's at. Oh my goodness. Let's see. He was tired and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. Look, so there he went on top. Uh-oh. What's wrong with this mountain? I only see one side. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. What could he draw? Think. What could he draw? What would you draw if you're falling from a mountain? Let's see. Oh, he got a good idea, but what would you draw? Think. But luckily, he kept his wits on his purple crayon. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. The balloon is helping him float. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see his house. Oh no, he's gotten too far. So he made a house with windows and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. See? Do you think that might be his house? I don't know. None of the windows was his window. Oh no. He tried to think where his window ought to be. Where should it be? He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. Oh no. If you have too many windows, you're going to get confused, don't you think? Look at all those windows. How is he going to know which one's his? This is crazy. Watch. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. How is he going to find his window? Oh my gosh. This is getting crazy. His imagination is out of control. That's what's happening. But none of the windows was his window. Oh my gosh. He couldn't think where it might be. Can you guys try to help Harold find his window? I mean, he made them with his imagination. Where could it be? Could this be his window? Could this be his window? Oh my gosh. Harold, what mess did you get yourself into? He decided to ask a policeman. But there was no policeman, so what did he do? He drew him because he's using his imagination. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. See, he told him, go that way. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then suddenly Harold remembered. What did he remember? What do you think he remembered? He's looking up at the moon. remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the cupboards. Look at, he's still drawing the blanket over himself. All of this was in his what? Yep, his imagination. The purple crayon dropped on the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. So see, Harold got tired. He even fell asleep because he was so tired of using his imagination. But when you have a wonderful imagination, or when you're bored at home and you're like, oh, I don't got nothing to do, or I'm so bored, you can use your imagination for many things. You can draw these adventures just like Harold did, or you can use your imagination and create some artwork just like Carol did, because this is art. You can pretend to be somebody. You could pretend to be that scary dragon. You could pretend to be a pirate. You could pretend to be a princess. You could pretend to be whatever you want to pretend to be, because you're using your imagination. And your imagination can take you to places that we might never physically go, but our mind can take us there. That's why reading is so important. All right, boys and girls, I want to see where your imagination takes you. I would like to see one of your masterpieces that tells me a story of something you imagined. So send me a picture, please.